its earliest years, CCS had to practically start from scratch, learning from other competition authorities how they conducted their work and adapting their practices to our own needs.
At that time, I was part of a division within the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and it was responsible for drafting the Competition Act. So when the CCS was formed, that division was spun off to form the CCS, and at that time we were a team of 5 people.
It was much smaller than it is now, just about half the size of CCS as it is now. It was a very cozy sort of working relationship. We worked very closely together with economists, with investigators, as well as with the other administration staff. I really enjoyed that time. We were building CCS up, I think, at that time.
I have very many fond memories of CCS. I think what I remember most clearly is how much we liked each other. We all worked very well together on a personal and professional level. I think I'm very lucky to have made some of my closest friends during my time in the CCS.
One of the greatest challenges in the initial year was to establish CCS corporate identity and culture. We had officers coming from different parts of the public sector and also from the private sector. We had economists, lawyers, and people in corporate functions, all with different thinking preferences and different working styles. It took us some time to get everyone to gel and work as a team.
When you actually have to knock on the door of a business at 8:30 a.m. in the morning and showing them your warrant and trying to explain what this competition law is about and why are they being raided.
We were maybe 10 meters ahead of the police officers who were supposed to be protecting us. So by the time we got to the premises that we were raiding, the police officers were far behind and really didn't offer much in the way of protection.
Having to file originating summons and affidavits, and we didn't have the e-filing service within the office premises itself, so I had to go down to Chinatown Point at the time to do the filing, and it came up to a fair amount of money, and I realized I didn't have enough cash to pay for the filing fee.
Initially, competition awareness in Singapore was low, and CCS had to do a lot of outreach to reach out to different groups of stakeholders to get their buy-in.
We had to do a lot of explanation as to why we were going to see them and to make them understand what the function of CCS is.
Time where we did our first animation competition. Schools and open categories can come together to come up with an animation to showcase what they understand about competition.
Now I'm glad to share that awareness of competition law in Singapore has greatly increased, and many people recognize the hard work that we have done.
We've managed to streamline our work processes. We've come up with proper frameworks and work procedures to get things done.
I think over time that actually became a lot easier because of the outreach and enforcement activities that the CCS did. I mean, looking back, in 10 years, CCS has moved on from an unknown statutory board to hosting the ICN meeting in 2016. It has come a very long way, and I think that it has a lot to be proud of.
In my view, that CCS is a highly professional organization. The staff is very well trained, very, very professional in the manner. Number 2 is that the organization is extremely well run. And number 3 is that the leadership is of the highest quality. And I think it's the envy of all new organization, and it's an organization which is highly respected around the world.
It has been a privilege because I've gone through many of the staff, middle management, even the CEO of the CCS. I've worked with them closely. We've collaborated on a lot of exchanges, mutual fora, dialogues, country visits, and we've served in many panels together, many capacities, all towards meeting our national goals and towards an ASEAN integration vision.
During the early days of the formation of MyCC, I relied quite a bit on CCS, who actually guided me in some administrative and enforcement issues.
The CCS officers are very intelligent and enthusiastic, and particularly it's enjoyable to work with them because of the dedication they have to really making sure that they get the very best for the Singaporeans from the work they do.
It's always been a very good organisation. It takes time to get your processes in place and to mature into the role, but I think the CCS has done that very well. Every time I speak to someone, a competition lawyer in Singapore or overseas, they speak very highly of the CCS.
They've always impressed me by being professionally very respectful, commercially sensitive, and even when necessary, culturally sensitive, especially when they're interviewing interviewees who are coming from foreign countries.
I think what really made the working experience really fulfilling was their willingness to understand our economics syllabus at a deep level so that they could tailor their presentation for us. And I think this really paid off because many commented that CCS presentation was very engaging and there were many case studies that they could take and use in the classroom.
My own vision for CCS is that it will continue on the good trajectory that it has gone in the last 10 years, growing from strength to strength in terms of the type of cases it handles, in terms of the influence it's had on government policy, and generally facilitating a vibrant economy that benefits businesses and consumers alike.
My wish for CCS in 2025 is that we'll continue to work closely with our friends in other government agencies to be a persuasive voice for competition for Singapore's regulations and policies.
My aspiration for CCS would be for it to grow in strength, that means in terms of the cases it handles, and also be a brand name in Singapore and ASEAN.
I'm proud to be part of the CCS family, and I look forward to bigger and better things to come.
I think it would be great if CCS will continue to engage our educators and our students. I think they are really a great example of how economics can be brought to life.
I think CCS has come a long way in its 10 years, and I think with the team it has, it's going to go very, very far.
Over the years, I've seen how CCS has grown in the decisions that it has been issuing recently and in the cases that it has been handling. I think it's definitely on that way, so I wish them all the best in the years ahead.
All the best, CCS.
All the best, CCS.
All the best, CCS!
All the best, CCS.
All the best, CCS.
All the best, CCS.
All the best, CCS.
All the best to you, CCS.